It's bizarre when you think about it. They say we have free speech in Australia, but you can sue somebody for defamation, claim that they have damaged your reputation, and you can force them to pay tens of thousands of dollars in costs before you even get to mediation, certainly before you get to court. Such are the costs of justice. Court costs and lawyers' fees. We're subsidising this through the legal system, of course, taxpayers. It's bizarre that they can wipe out your home simply because of a claim, which they refuse to discuss with you. Just send in the lawyers. And it's bizarre that there's no way of knowing if anybody else is funding an action. That can be kept a secret. Anybody can have a crack legally. Just find what you deem to be a case. You can harass people if you have the money to do it. Now, we kicked off last year in style here at Michael West Media, 2 threats in the month of January alone to start 2024. One from a colourful entrepreneur in the UK who subsequently went belly up, went bust, and another one. And we got more than 4 last year, I think. We get an average of 4 threats a year. Not all defamation, but mostly defamation. Injurious falsehood too, and IP misappropriation. And now we've got one which is actually proceeding to court. Even though the story has been taken down, something we rarely do, even though we made 5 attempts to discuss the client's concern before they filed in the federal court, instead preferring to have us served at home by a private investigator. It's bizarre. It's bizarre that there is nothing that we can do but defend the claim. There is no filter. The political implications are serious for Australians, for the future, for free speech. Bearing in mind the governments are clamping down on free speech generally, the pressure on TikTok, the under-16 media ban, social media ban, curbs on peaceful protests, anti-protest laws, the ramping up of hate speech laws. Anybody can be sued. You can be sued too for a post on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook. The irony is, and it does happen actually with Twitter stoushes, there are legal actions over Twitter posts. The irony is that defamation and libel are rampant on social media daily, particularly in the cesspool which is Elon Musk's X, formerly Twitter, where the most vile slander occurs in daily pylons, demonstrable lies. Doesn't matter. Here's a few of our greatest hits, just to give you a flavour for what, if you ever want to go into journalism or independent media, you might be able to look forward to. Here's the boys from Simpson's Lawyers last year, Adam Simpson, Sebastian Tonkin. Simpson's Solicitors, on behalf of companies in Bermuda. That was the guy who went bust, the colourful entrepreneur. Here's the crew who are harassing us now. Formerly Maya Vanderberg, now MV Law. They came at us 3 years ago. Alyssa Taylor and Courtney Noble back again for another go without taking a phone call or responding to an email. Here's Sarah Roper and Ashley Rose from Squire Patton Boggs, acting on behalf of Tamboran Resources, a small gas fracking company backed by an American oil billionaire. They've had 2 cracks at us now. And mind you, they got some money out of the government too, then refused to turn up in the Senate, and then now running around trying to, threaten journalists. Here's our old mate, he used to act for us back in the Fairfax days at Sydney Morning Herald, Paul Sfillens from Mark O'Brien Legal. Paul's had a couple of cracks as well. He had to go at us over a story on behalf of the Catholic Church Cemeteries Trust, a $5 billion trust, threatened to sue us over that, and he had to go on behalf of good old Angus Taylor as well, who is now the shadow treasurer. Here's Justine Munsey of Addison's Legal, threat on behalf of an Australian-Chinese billionaire. Luke Hastings from Freehills on behalf of Aveo, a nursing home company now controlled in Bermuda. And here's David Legg. Don't know if we've got a photo of David, but David rather sheepishly threatened us on behalf of a guy involved in a neighbourhood stoush over a fence. Somebody got hit by a fence paling. And that soaked up a bit of time too. Now, we're just about to publish our defence in the federal court. It's due in this week, and the matter of Jeff Wade has promised to supporters who helped us to fund this defence. We'll publish the defence online across all platforms for the benefit of transparency so that everybody can see, they can make up their own mind. I mean, we may have technically defamed this guy. We can't see anything wrong with the story, but we say the claim is absolutely without merit and they made no effort to negotiate. So we would say that, wouldn't we? Of course, we're going to defend our position, but we frankly can't find anything wrong with the story. But the point of this story is just to say that the system is broken and needs to be fixed. If you've got capacity to harass people, if you've got money, then it's going to happen. In this case, just going straight, having to build a defence straight away is just unbelievable. So if you're a small publisher or intending to be a journalist or a publisher, be warned. If you get big enough, they will come. They will come after you. Now, this really means that the public interest really is threatened, and media is threatened by the legal fraternity. Because most of these claims actually don't go to court. They're just exercises in muzzling, threatening people with costs, with losing their home if they don't do what the applicant or the plaintiff says. In the US, free speech is enshrined in the Constitution. Not so here. You can sue for defamation in the US, but the bar is much higher. And the other reason for this video is because we've been dealing with the learned friends from the legal profession. We've had no time to do anything else. This is the only story right at the moment in content terms, because it's like having two jobs, dealing with lawyers and your core business. So thank you very much for those who've supported us. Stay tuned in all ways, in any way, funding the journalism or helping this defence. We really super appreciate it. It's been unbelievable reaction from the community. Really appreciate it. We've got to fight this one because the old saying, if they're coming after you, who's going to be next? So thank you very much, and we'll be in touch shortly and publish our defence in the interests of transparency so everybody can see and make up their own minds what is really going on in this situation.